Welcome! Now to a special segment on
grief in the Russian family.
Ivan Ilyich was a well-known man who worked in the judicial branch in Russia. He lived with his wife Praskovia, his son Vasily, his daughter Liza, and his pantry boy Drazen.
He lived just like any other man when, sadly, tragedy struck one day.
One day, while putting up decorations, he fell off of a ladder, and
just months later, he passed away. Introducing our first guest, Ivan's son, Vasily Ivanovich.
Yay! Hello, Vasily. Welcome to our show. I'm Dr. Tori.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Dr. Deitch.
Nice to meet you,
Well,
too.
we just wanted to have you on our show because we know what a tragic time you went through with your father's passing, and we want to talk about your experiences and the hardships you went through so that we can share it with all of America and they can learn about how to cope with death.
Exactly. So how close were you with your father before his death? Did his illness change your relationship at all?
My relationship before and after my father's death has been about the same. My family really didn't have any compassion or respect for what he did to help them. I knew that I had to be the bigger person because no one else was willing to step in and take that role. My father really was like the provider of my family, and that's one of the reasons that I loved him so much, because he took care of us even though no one but me really was able to care for him.
So where would you say you are in terms of the grieving process?
I really haven't been able to accept his death yet, even though everyone else was able to get over it so quickly, because I never really got to say my goodbyes.
Now for our second guest, the pantry boy, Gerasim.
Yay!
Thank you, Gerasim.
Welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Tori.
I'm Dr. Deitch. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Well, we just wanted to have you on the show because we knew you were somehow related to Ivan. How are you related to him?
Well, I'm his butler, and I held his legs up in his last days of death to make him more comfortable, because I'm the only one that actually cared.
That's very nice of you.
Yes.
So, did you mind holding his legs up continuously? Like, did this ever tire you out or anything?
Although the experience was physically draining, it was very rewarding because he was dying and I was helping him out and I was the only one that cared. And even though I had chores to be doing around the house, I chose to be with Ivan in his horrible state because I would want someone to do that for me if I was dying. And so this changed my perspective on life and made me realize that I need to live my life with no regrets. So whenever I'm on my deathbed, I don't have to regret not treating my family with kindness.
So do you think your acts helped him in the end?
I think it gave him sound mind, sound heart, and sound soul. And that whenever he died, he really knew that someone actually cared about him here on Earth.
Logical.
How did you and Ivan connect? Did you guys ever share any secrets or anything?
We never shared any secrets, but we connected in a spiritual way. He's a very laid-back guy, and I felt like I could tell him anything. We became like brothers, and we became really good friends before his death. So I'm sad that I got to know him so well before he died.
So how did you feel when he finally passed away?
Well, I already knew it was coming, so it wasn't as sad as it should have been. But I knew he was in a better place. But when I went to his funeral, I seemed to be the only one that really cared and understood what he was going through before he died, because nobody else made the effort to, connect with him before his death, and I was the only one that really had a connection with him. So whenever he died, it was like I was losing a friend, but I know I'll be reunited with him one day.
Well, listen, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're a great guest.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
I'll send it again.
Alright, so that's our show. Be sure to watch the evening news.
Tune in next week for It's That Time Again, DAT. That time's over.
It's a great book. I wish I could reach this cone. Well, next time I need a cone, I'm going to get a ladder.
Warning: falls off ladder may induce irritability, loss of appetite, ongoing pain inside, odd taste in mouth, fatigue, depression, dysentery, and even death.
I'm Mr. Barry, and I approve this message.
Hi, we have a slight problem in our studio. Get to the camera! Get to the camera!
Hold on, the show's not over.
We're going to tell you how Ivan really was.
And who are you two?
I'm Praskovia, Ivan's darling wife.
And I'm Liza, his beautiful daughter.
Welcome back to the show. I guess we have some new guests. We have Praskovia and Liza Ivanovich, and they really want to tell us what was going on in Ivan's life and how to raise him. And our other guests were very incorrect. Now, ladies, can you tell us anything that you'd like to tell us?
I heard you and Yvonne were very in love. Is this true? You're right, we were in love. At first, though. As time went on, he grew to be obsessed with his job, and when I had kids, he definitely couldn't handle it, and so he spent all of his time at work. And that really ruined our relationship.
Do you regret not trying to fix the relationship at all?
I regret it, but not so much because he didn't try either. Not really. Yvonne didn't have many friends, and when his colleagues found out about his death, they didn't care. All they cared about was taking over at his place, so I don't think that it was a big deal. The only friend that he had was Peter, and even then he decided whether going to his funeral was better or going to play cards, so I don't really think that he was a true friend after all.
So our other guest started to tell me that you contributed to Yvonne's
No.
unhappiness.
Yvonne was never home. He was always at work, and he's the blame for all of his unhappiness. He came home and started fighting with me over stupid little things, and then he had the nerve to tell me where I should send my kids to school. Therefore, he was unhappy due to himself and his actions.
Do you think he even liked you?
Not really, actually. At first, I believed that he was in love with me because I actually was in love with him. But when we started our marriage and I started to have kids and we started to move on with our lives, he was always at work, and I could just tell that he didn't even love me from the beginning, that society told him to marry me, and therefore I never even tried to make our relationship better.
It's interesting that such people in the family have such different views on Yvonne. I mean, I just can't figure out who he really was.
Oh, did Jerasum tell you that?
Tell me what?
All that stuff about me?
Liza, I have a few questions for you. I mean, I heard that you didn't like your father either. How did you feel when he was sick?
Although I felt bad for him dying, I realized that he created his own problems. He treated my mom and I the same, which is like horribly, and he didn't care that I was his daughter or we were his family.
I have another question for you. Did you ever notice a change in your mother and father's relationship as he became ill, or even before? I mean, how was their relationship?
Well, before I was born, they had a good relationship, but then after, he was totally different. He became obsessed with work, and so I really think it was my fault when I was born. But I mean, you know how Ivan was. I mean, everyone told you he was bad to his family, so yeah.
Well, I guess your views on Ivan are so different. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to say to show our audience that our other guests were wrong?
I think we've said enough.
Yeah.
I would
Well,
agree with that.
thank you for coming to our set. I'm sure our audience has enjoyed this interview.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Remember, it's that time again.
Good night, everyone.
Tune in next time for It's That Time Again. Alright,
Well, thank you for your time, Jerasum.
you're such a great guest.
At least like this.
We'll be back after these short messages.
Carly's new mustache.
You
guys will be like interviewing. Alright, Evan, read.
I
Seriously.
got it.
Yeah.
I just can't look you up.
Did you read the book? Yes.
Alright, seriously, I'm leaving soon, so go.
There you go.
And did the horizontal mom bell on her?
Whose phone is that?
Oh, Taurus. It's Kevin.
Of course it's Kevin.
Hello, Kevin Barry.
Next week for another show of It's That Time Again!
Stand up.
Is this recording the entire time?
Yeah, it's okay. Now be happy.
Let me know when. I can't get angry.
You guys just
Up into this. No, wait, this way. Perfect. Right. Okay, we can look. You can set your
Okay,
words
now
out.
I want to hold it.
Okay.
Alright, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Can't I just be like on the ground at that point?
just
Make a thud noise?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just gonna sit down. Take a seat. Now what? What do I do?
The chair's gonna pop in front of you and you're gonna walk up on the chair.
No, I wish I could reach it.
That?
Can you hold this
You go to the
pair?
safety shower and be like, hi, I'm Kevin Barry.
Mister!
Mister.
Sorry.
Mr. Barry. Okay, can you put the molecules in front of you?
On me? No.
Oh, the butterfly!
No, it's fragile.
Can't see your face. Go back.
I like to call this little number striped sweater.
Hi, my name is Bob, and I approve this message.